Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Odontology, the study of teeth. So today we are going to see about the maxillary first premolar carving. So all the initial steps what we had seen in the previous videos, that is carving of a central incisor as well as the canine. We have done all these things. So you can brush up all those things in my previous video. We'll directly start with the carving. First is all the aspects has been marked, then midline has been marked. Then after that the crown length has been taken, then root length. Then next step will be dividing the block into 3 equal blocks on all the surfaces. Then I have taken the mesodistal diameter from the center, half of the mesodistal diameter of the crown, that is 7. I have taken 3.5 from the midpoint and here 3.5. The total measurement should be 7. But however, you have to take a 0.5 excess. Okay, not taking exactly 3.5 or the 2.5. Okay, always take excess, that is 4. At mesodistal diameter at cervix is 2.5. I have taken 3. So after that, the way we have carved a maxillary canine is similar to the maxillary first premolar. So the procedure is almost same. The only the side difference is in maxillary canine, since it is an anterior tooth, you have well formed cingulum aspect. Okay. In maxillary canine, we can see the well formed cingulum and the lingual aspect. However, in your posterior teeth, the cingulum won't be seen. For in that, we can see a properly formed, a well formed cuspal region. Okay, that start with your maxillary premolar onwards, that we saw in the morphological aspects of the maxillary first premolar. So you have well formed cuspal region instead of the cingulum that is seen in your anteriors. Okay, so the same thing we are going to carve in the wax block also. However, the procedures what we have done for the maxillary canine is similar when doing the carving of the maxillary first premolar. Okay, so I have drawn the initial outline for the carving of the maxillary first premolar. Once this is drawn from the buccal as well as in the palatal aspect, start carving from mesial and distal till you reach the outline. All the procedures what we are going to do in the maxillary first premolar is similar to your carving of your maxillary canine. Okay, the only difference is the occlusal aspect. You have to give more concentration on the occlusal aspect when you are carving the posterior teeth. Next we will be carving the incisional 1/3 area. Remove the wax from here. This is similar to your carving of your maxillary canine. Then join the two lines, two sections. Next we will be drawing the outline on the mesial and distal and carving from labial and lingual. So when you see the buccal or the palatal aspect, see the outline, okay, mesial and distal outline. Mesial should be longer when compared to the distal. That is opposite depth of the maxillary canine. Okay, where the distal outline will be longer when compared to the mesial outline. Okay, in maxillary first premolar you have mesial outline will be longer than the distal outline. Next, draw the midline on the mesial and distal aspect. So in the mesial aspect, I again redrawn the midline. Then I taken the labiolingual diameter at crown and at cervix. That is 9 out of 9 by 2 is 4.5, and labiolingual diameter at cervix is 8. Half of that it is 4. So after that I have seen from the textbook we drawn the outline also from the mesial and the distal aspects, and start carving from buccal and palatal. So same buccal ridge should be evident in the buccal aspect. What we done for the carving of the maxillary canine will be similar, okay, for carving the buccal ridge, almost similar only. Okay, the only difference is we are going to carve the occlusal aspect in the maxillary first premolar till you reach the outline. Reduce the wax from the labial and palatal. Palatal, here there is no of any ridges. Okay, it should be straightly carved. Hold the carver straightly and carve evenly till you reach the outline. Then define the block away from define the crown portion area away from the remaining wax block. That is, use the sharp tip of the carver and gently you do the lining over the cervical 1/3 of the crown portion. Once this is done, carve from that cervical 1/3. To define a proper outline of the crown aspect. Without touching the other parts of the crown, I'm going to remove the wax only at the cervical 1/3, and all the line angle should be smoothened. Once this is done, we are going to start the occlusal aspect carving. So when you see the morphology of the occlusal aspect, it's roughly hexagonal shaped, where your distal outline will be longer than the mesial outline. Okay, and you can see a labial ridge or the buccal ridge. It is evident properly in the occlusal aspect, and you have small palatal cusp. However, a buccal cusp will be longer, where some of the buccal aspect can be viewed from the palatal aspect. So all these things should be seen in your carving also. And other anatomical landmarks, that includes central developmental groove and your two triangular fossae, that is mesial triangular fossa and distal triangular fossa, where the base of the triangle form the mesial and distal marginal ridge, and from the central developmental groove you have extension of small groove crossing the mesial marginal ridge over the mesial aspect, that is called as mesial marginal developmental groove. That is more evident on the mesial aspect when compared to the distal aspect. So all those things we are going to do in this carving. So this is your buccal aspect. So for the creation of here you have one small linear elevation, okay, that is called as transverse ridge. So those things, that is the beginning of your carving. You have to create the transverse ridge. Slightly scoop the wax from the mesial aspect, and same thing you have to do in the distal aspect. Here when you do the buccal, same thing you have to do in the palatal aspect also. automatically your marginal ridge will be formed without doing any extra works. Equally, when you remove the from the buccal aspect, same thing you have to do the palatal also. Okay, make sure that your palatal cusp should be smaller when compared to the buccal cusp. Okay, and small draw one central developmental groove, and after that carve over there. Should cross the mesial marginal, cross the transverse ridge, and here also. So whatever we are doing on the buccal aspect, same thing should be carried on your palatal also. Okay, so after that I'm carving here the mesial triangular fossa and distal triangular fossa. Draw the outline of the triangle and scoop the wax in the shape of the triangle. It forms roughly a butterfly shaped appearance. That is the exact outline of your occlusal aspect of maxillary first premolar. Okay, so whenever you do, make sure you are working in the same platform without doing any much mistakes. So for that, you need to remove all this wax scraps, and you will understand where you are working now. Okay, and with this help of this one, you can do the outline corrections. Okay, here it's not rough, it's not an hexagonal shape, so for that we have to create the hexagon now. So what I'm going to do is, all this by practice only you can learn. Slightly remove the wax from starting from the cervical outline and make all the line angles smooth. You got the roughly the hexagonal shaped. However, the distal should be longer. It's not exactly rough, this one hexagonal, it should be slightly turned, giving roughly hexagonal shaped, not in the same straight position, should be slightly turned towards the mesial orientation. That is the distal will be seen longer and compared to the mesial outline, and you see the tooth from the occlusal aspect. I think you are getting the point. So when you go through the theory before starting the any carving work, starting from the sentences or till the carving of a molar, I make sure that first go through the literature. First you read the textbook, Wheeler's Dental Anatomy, Physiology and Occlusion book. It's very nicely written about the anatomy of each tooth. Before starting the carving, I kindly request the students to go through Wheeler's textbook. Then you start with the carving. Initially it will be slightly difficult to understand the terminologies. When you keep on only, you can able to do a proper work. Blindly don't do, never do any blind work, because whatever we are going to do in the first year, going to apply everything in your clinical departments. Everything will be applied. Okay, each and everything will be applied in your clinical departments. So I kindly request you to read the textbook first, then start carving the tooth. So you can see the roughly hexagonal shaped. However, your distal outline should be longer. Slightly we'll do the correction here. Slightly rotate it should be seen rotated towards the mesial. Okay, as given in your textbook, the description. Go through the occlusal aspect very thoroughly, because occlusal aspect of the maxillary first premolar alone they may ask as a short note answer. Okay, short note essay. So make sure you have to study in thoroughly. Okay, maxillary occlusal aspect alone they may ask you an exam of maxillary first premolar. See, now you can see, right, the small rhomboid shaped or oval shaped structure of the palatal cusp. However, it is when compared to the buccal cusp, it is more shorter. The height is very shorter, so much of the buccal aspect can be viewed from the palatally. Okay, so the same what is there in your anatomy only I have replicated in here the carving. Easy, right? So if you keep on doing only, it is very easy to do, or else very difficult. One day you can't learn. It's an art. Dentistry is an art, and especially with the carving and all, so you have to, it's a very art work. So slowly, regularly, if you do means, you will get the nice work. So with this we complete the crown portion.